So what's the difference between a successful networker and an unsuccessful networker? Imagine there's two people and they both spend exactly the same amount of time invested in their networking, but one of them gets a great result and one of them just can't seem to get any traction. Quite often it's this, and this is a really, really good key to understanding how networking works and how to get a great return from it. It's this: know, like, and trust. Networking really is quite simple. People try and overcomplicate it with CRMs and follow-up methods and everything else, but really what it comes down to is human beings, okay? We're not robots, we're humans, and if we accept that, acknowledge that, and really work with that in mind, you're going to get a great return. So first of all, you've got to get to know people. So that's very simple, right? You've got to turn up. Sounds simple, but actually, if you turn up early, you're going to do better than someone who turns up late. So if you're there 10 minutes before most people get there, you're really going to be able to settle in the room. You're just going to be able to center yourself. You'll be able to see who arrives. You'll be able to see who else arrives early. Guess who's the best people to speak to at a networking event? It's the people who arrive early, because they're the people that are going to be proactive, right? So you're going to get to know people first of all. Then you've got to establish some level of rapport. You've got to get to like each other. If there really isn't any sort of chemistry between the two of you in a networking event, then you're not really going to be able to take it on to a level of trust, are you? So you've got to establish something. And I saw a great example of this the other day with a couple of people, and they were kind of having a one-to-one meeting. And they just couldn't, they're looking at their body language, it was quite clear they really weren't quite on the same level. And then suddenly one of them said, "What football team do you support?" And that can be quite an emotive subject, honestly, at a networking event. But in this particular case, it was just the luck they needed, because the other person said, "Oh, I support," whichever team it was. They both happened to support the same team. And suddenly they were like best friends and they start to hit it off. So you've got to get to some level of like. So know, like, and then you finally get to trust. The way you develop trust, generally speaking, in a networking context, you're not going to get to trust the first time you meet someone, okay? You wouldn't ask someone to marry you on a first date. You're not going to get to trust the first time at a networking meeting. But you can follow up and have further meetings with that person, whether it's at the same networking event the following week or the following month, or whether it's over a coffee at a local establishment. The way you're going to get to trust is by asking that person to do something for you, or one of your contacts that's kind of a bit of a tester, really. Not really the sort of business they enjoy or like, but you're kind of testing them out. You're kicking the tire. You're figuring out if they follow up on that with absolute diligence and the respect of it being an amazing introduction, then they're going to be the sort of person you can work with in the future. If they kind of don't show too much interest and kind of brush it off, then you know you've just dodged the bullet and you can move on to the next one. And I'm pretty ruthless about this, honestly. If someone doesn't follow up on a tester referral with that kind of respect that a fantastic referral really deserves, and I think their attitude probably isn't where I need it to be, in the nicest possible way, they're not someone I really want to be working with. So that's kind of the trust level. Know, like, and trust. It really is as simple as that. Once you get to that, all you need to do is say, "This is who I'd like to be introduced to, and this is what you need to say to introduce me." You haven't got to explain your business. You haven't got to explain all the detail, all the acronyms, all the jargon, all the detail of your business. That actually doesn't matter, because you've got to know, like, and trust already. You just need to know, who do you want and how do I get you in there? That's all that other person needs to know about you, and vice versa. I hope that helps.